Mark here, and I'm already in Kentucky, but I wanted to do an intro to this video because we're doing a pretty epic road trip. It's going to be about 3,000 miles, maybe 3,500 miles through the U.S. We started in Toronto, but we stayed in Ann Arbor, we're in Louisville now. We're going to be in Tennessee and Memphis and going down to New Orleans. And then we're going to go up through Florida and the Carolinas and up back to Toronto. I've got my Model X here, and my mom's driving the Model 3. She's helping out because with two girls, if we were to do this road trip, we would just never be able to leave them alone without my mom helping out. So it's a great help. They're 11 months and we really need the help. But we're going to be comparing consumption rates because the Model X consumes a lot more power than a Model 3. And we're going to look at how the consumption rates compare and just have a good time. It's like literally a Tesla convoy of two cars through America. And I've already had some great experiences. And as you'll see in the video, we also had some troubles with traffic and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is another one of those epic trips, and we're going to make this a multi-parter. So we'll talk to you soon. The big road trip's about to begin, and there's a lot of stuff to pack. And I've got two cars. I'm already sweaty because I'm already just bringing this stuff down. There's all this, and the stroller, and some stuff. There's already stuff in the back that was in the car previously. And we got a little cheapy portable fridge. We'll see how this one goes. So that's already in the car. And then we've got the Model 3 that's gonna have the dog, at least for now. We'll see how this works out, but my mom will be driving this car. So this is for the dog and for her stuff. So let's see how this goes. So I've got more than enough to I have more than enough charge now, but the girls are eating their solids. So we're gonna let them finish that up, and then we're gonna head on our way. The first part of this trip, a little stressful. Port Hope Supercharger is located here by a DoubleTree. That's actually the bridge to the Canada-US border, and see a couple of cars here already. Yeah, there's just traffic on that bridge, no doubt about it. But the DoubleTree is really nice, actually. This is looks like a good place to stay, and there's a couple of restaurants and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, there are the girls. Love being on TV. Wanted to show you guys the front baby changing room. So here's the front of the Model X. And yeah, this is kind of nice because as we charge, I can change diapers. So the diaper bag goes here. They've got one of these. I've got some baby seats beneath that, but this is pretty sturdy. I've got disposable bags so that that can get thrown out. Umbrella, no particular reason. And yeah, here's some garbage. So there you go. When you're traveling, this is the way to go. And of course, all this closes up. Yeah, I can really hear that fan in the background. This is we're charging here, and it's really hot. Hey, Mark here. We are here at the Sheraton in Ann Arbor. They had a destination charger, which was great because we got in here about like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Plugged the cars in. I charged to 90% for overnight, and then I just charged the rest of the 10% this morning. So we'll have a look at the charging. The girls are a little grumpy. They want to go to sleep, and that'll happen. The car still is moving. So you can see that we're at 376 degrees, and we're just not quite at 100%, but the battery is charging to full. This is going to be the drive for today. We are stopping off at Lima, Ohio. That's going to be, a 2-hour drive, give or take. And then in Blue Ash, again, a couple hours later, and then stopping off at Louisville. Our Airbnb doesn't have any charging stations, so we may charge this up a little bit longer at Blue Ash, Ohio. And that's actually a Tesla dealership, so I've been there before. We'll see how that goes again. So this is day 2 of our trip down to, well, I guess Florida is where we're ending up at the end, and then we're going to come back around. We didn't really get to record much yesterday. We planned to leave at what time, Nicole?
9.
What time did we actually leave at?
1:30?
Yeah, it was about 1:30. We actually had errands to run before leaving, so that wasn't fun. But so yesterday we stopped off at two superchargers. Now it was going to be a 6.5 hour drive. We stopped off at Woodstock. I'll show you some photos from that. And that one was supposed to be a 30-minute stop, and we were there for about an hour. We had to feed the girls, change diapers, get ourselves food, and then
go to the washroom.
Yeah, the washroom break was very important. And then the second stop wasn't supposed to be until like somewhere in Detroit, Michigan. I can't remember where, but we stopped off at Port Hope.
Oh, Port Hope. No,
Yeah.
Port Huron.
Port Huron, there we go.
Huron.
Yeah, there's a Port Hope in Canada. Anyway, just across the border from Sarnia. And then we went to Ann Arbor, where we were planning to go to this nice little restaurant that makes like Cuban sandwiches. Our intention was to do that. So we stopped off at the Sheraton, which had destination chargers. So we plugged the car in overnight. But that didn't work out because
our baby started screaming.
Yeah, they didn't deal very well with the pack and play. They've slept in them before, and last night just wasn't a night where that was going to work. So instead, we basically cuddled them all night until one actually fell asleep in the pack and play, and so that was our evening. We did not sleep very much, did we? But today this is theoretically a 6.5 hour drive from Ann Arbor to Louisville, Kentucky. It's probably going to take us an extra hour because I'm finding that diaper changes and everything else and feeding the girls is going to take a little longer. But we got some fun things planned. The next supercharger stop is Lima, Ohio, which I was just at last week, and it's nice. It'll be very nice. Looking forward for chicken wings, I think.
Woohoo!
All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit. Cheers. We're here in Lima, Ohio. You can hear the engine noise as the car charges. It's about 90 degrees. This is a really nice supercharger. They've got a Wings place over there, an Olive Garden, a Tex-Mex, and there's a couple of hotels here and Applebee's. Really takes you back to America, kind of where you have like all the hotels and people do a lot of road trips, and so it's a great spot for superchargers because you can get a lot of quick, accommodating food, especially when you're traveling with families. At this temperature, the car is it sounds like a jet engine ready to go as it's getting, as the battery pack keeps the engine cooler so it can charge. But let's look at the Model 3 and see if it's any louder. Now going to the Model 3, it's got a little less weight to carry and a smaller battery pack, well, same size battery pack, but less weight. And there's just no noise, it's completely quiet. So the fans aren't needed here. Despite the temperature, this car is charging without any issue. Yeah, by the time we got seated with the girls, got our menus and everything else, the cars are done. They're pretty much done supercharging. That one's almost at 100%. That one's almost at 100%. So I'm just going to move them out of the way because you do get late fees if like half these superchargers are full. Now, there's nobody here, but, just in case. Well, family's eating at the restaurants over there. We got more than enough charge to keep going on this trip. The nice feature here that I like is we do have a cooler in the back and some food, but the cooler only keeps it 20 degrees below ambient Celsius. So you can click on the climate control and you can just say keep the climate on as I leave the car. Now this will just keep AC on this entire time. And we'll see how much battery it drains, but we're at 361 kilometers now. The car's not going to drive, but because we're using the AC, we'll see how much range that actually takes up. So here we are, about 40 minutes later. Let's have a look at how much charge. It's almost 100 degrees now outside, maybe 90 degrees, sorry, my conversion is bad, 32 degrees Celsius. And so we lost, just about 10 kilometers of range with the AC being on 20 degrees. And yes, one day I'll clean that windshield wiper, the window rather. Anyway, so our next stop is going to be Blue Ash, Ohio, and that's a Tesla dealership. So we're going to head on over there, have a quick 20-minute stop, and then 4 hours later, 4 hours in this duration, we'll be at Louisville, Kentucky. Cheers. Well, you know, when you hit a traffic jam and people start getting out of the cars, that's where we're at right now. Buddy over there, he's out of the car. We're not far from Louisville. We're like 30, 40 minutes away, but there's an accident somewhere around here. As of the last Tesla update a couple of months ago, it became more traffic aware. So as we were approaching this, the Tesla map realized there was an accident here and rerouted us this path here. But we were stopped for about 20, 30 minutes, and I completely stopped. There's just no movement here. And it just said, no, no, go ahead. You're good going straight. But if you look at Waze and Google Maps and Apple Maps, they all have this path here. Apple Maps even recommends going this way and that way through. So either way, lots of different options, but going straight is definitely not one of them. And we're definitely not moving. It talks about how big the Model X is. I mean, they do. It's a big car. Like, it doesn't quite fit into a regular spot. But there's also the fact that those falcon wing doors will not open in this scenario. You have trees, a lot of coverage, and if this was the last parking spot in this bed and breakfast we were staying, I wouldn't be able to open up the doors. The trees would trigger the sensors, and of course, if I force them open, well, they might open, but would probably be scratched up by those leaves. Branches rather. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, especially in suburbs. You don't always get to park everywhere you want. And this happens to me on side streets all the time. There's like a tiny little tree and a door would open and a station wagon and all that, and the minivan doors would open, but the falcon wind doors will detect that tree and will stop immediately, especially the tiny trees. Those are the worst for those falcon wind doors.